It's almost like we don't have a word strong enough. Unique is not really a strong enough word.
MMA is a sport filled to the brim with unique and some interesting figures. But even by this game's standards, UFC middleweight contender Sean Strickland is in a total league of his own.
Alright, let's be fucking better, Sean. Be a fucking professional. Let's get sponsored. Let's get some endorsements. Come on, fucking Nike. What do you want me to do? You want me to vote for fucking Biden? I got you.
And by the looks of things, this volatile 185-pound contender is slowly working up a reputation as a truly fearsome rival.
I could say a lot more offensive shit, so it's nice. Now I'm just gonna be the white trash motherfucker that I am. It's nice.
His upbringing. Considering just how chaotic a figure this man later became, it makes sense that his upbringing was a tough one. Born in Bern, North Carolina, Strickland grew up in Corona, California, suffering in his early years at the hands of a physically and mentally abusive father. This pattern developed and led to this future star becoming a very troubled young man. He got kicked out of every school he ever attended in his teens, and before he found a path through martial arts, he was a skinhead at one point in time. It's the classic underdog story, a young and hopeful kid coming from the type of rough background that most never escape from. But Sean Strickland was and is not built like most men. And when he set down the road to become a mixed martial artist, his aptitude for the sport was immediately clear. Slowly, he began to put it all together, coming to a point where his fellow fighters were getting more and more wary of this rising talent. His natural weight class. Alright, look, the first few years of Strickland's MMA career were impressive, but comparing that fighter to the one that we now know today doesn't spring up too much in way of common ground. No, this former welterweight needed to move up to 185 pounds to truly become the fighter that we know him as today. And it did not take long for his fighting style to start shining through. Strickland, he just has a different aura to him these days. Now, free from the perilous weight cut to 170 pounds, cardio is the name of the game for this ferocious competitor. And as we just saw in his recent bout with Abbas Magomedov, Strickland can put a pace on these guys like few others can. And though most people would be quick to point out that he's not much of a power puncher for 185 pounds, Strickland just got a pretty quick second-round KO in there with Magomedov, showcasing that he is an ever-improving talent. Unorthodox stand-up. Described by Michael Bisping as unconventional and totally unpredictable, that is a billing that can be applied to Strickland both outside and inside of the octagon.
They want to throw spinning stuff. They want to throw spinning back fists. But you got to have the fundamentals. The jabs, the right hands, the 1-2, the double jab right hand, the 1-2 left hook. These are essentially the combinations that Sean Strickland uses. And they're fundamentals, they're basics, but they're fundamentals and they're basics for a reason. They're the most effective weapons you can have. And the jab is the most effective weapon. I'm telling you, the jab is the key to the door. It opens up so much stuff.
But before we talk about the mental onslaught that he's capable of dishing out with his trash talking, let's look at this guy's strange striking style. Sure, he's not necessarily known as a one-hitter quitter knockout artist, but when it comes to his fighting system, volume is the name of the game. Strickland fights with a pressure cooker style. He drowns his opponents by breaking them one shot at a time. So when you sign on the dotted line to take on this tricky matchup, you'd best prepare to eat more shots than usual. And in the cage, unless your name is Alex Pereira, good luck breaking through this highly impressive defense. His unorthodox style of head movement has been a staple of his game. He doesn't move like a championship-level boxer, but within mixed martial arts, his defensive stats tell a different story. And how did he get so damn good at rolling with the punches? Sparring. Strickland has always been known as a hard spar. In fact, stories of his wars in the gym are already the stuff of legend.
Oh, mother! Why, bro? Why?
Whoa.
Why? Get away from me.
Whoa, bro.
Get away. Bro, what the fuck, man? Why, dude? What?
In his own words, he used to challenge his gym mate Francis Ngannou to a spar every now and then, just to feel some fear during his preparations. Now that is a man that is not to be trifled with, folks. And it takes a peculiar personality type to openly welcome that level of danger when there's absolutely no money or even clout on the line. Ngannou has been known to weigh in upwards of 255 pounds. Strickland used to fight at 170. He puts in the work at the gym, so the action of a live fight doesn't faze him in the slightest. I mean, how do you intimidate a man that fearless? He was so unbothered by the striking of the great Alex Pereira that he didn't even consider shooting for a takedown against a legendary kickboxer. And sure, I mean, it obviously cost him in the end, but that certainly paints a vivid picture of this man's unbreakable confidence. And while we're on that subject, his persona.
Like, I don't know if you're having sex on the regular, but like, you gotta off once or twice a day, man. If you don't use it, you lose it. So, I mean, nothing I want. I'm just trying to... It's medical. I'm trying to stay angry, stay sharp, you know?
The first thing that most people know about Sean Strickland goes far beyond his skills as a fighter. Indeed, his status as a top 10 middleweight came about due to his uncoachable work ethic and the results he has turned in over the years in the UFC. But Strickland has a presence on the mic that is undeniable.
Man, I'm a happy, miserable fuck at the same time. I'm happy, I'm super happy, but I'm also like murderous and violent.
He's not just totally fearless in the face of any hard-hitting opponent. No, he also does not care in the slightest who he offends or what he says when the time comes to voice his opinions. Whether he's taking shots at the champ Israel Adesanya or any of his fellow middleweight contenders, Strickland goes for the jugular at every opportunity. Nothing is off the table when he sniffs the opportunity to talk trash. His personality can be so jarring that it often leaves media members totally stunned in silence, just because they really have no idea what to say in response.
This is my first press conference. You guys are a bunch of vicious bastards. Man, hearing the way you guys talk, I want to go down there and punch all you in the face. Jesus Christ, you guys are...
A guy like Adesanya is a pretty confident dude in his own right. But every time Strickland decides to take shots at the last stylebender, he's dishing out 10-8s like a prime Habib.
26-0, never lose round. And I don't know what this guy talking about.
Strickland has gone after Adesanya's fashion, his fighting style, his love of anime, his past, and how he just seems to know exactly how to get under Izzy's skin. And by the sounds of things, that is the fight that Strickland is gunning for. On paper, sure, it seems like Strickland would be in a lot of trouble against a guy as technical as Adesanya. But we already know this is a man without limits when it comes to his trash talk. And if he can get Izzy to overcommit, if he raises the personal stake to a point that causes the famously cool-headed champion to crack, who knows what could happen on fight night. And if Adesanya isn't next for Strickland, that doesn't mean that he's out of options. There's another presence lurking over the top 10 of the middleweight division, a name that has not yet made a top-level appearance in the weight class, but could you imagine just how insane the buildup would be if Sean Strickland was in fact tasked with welcoming Khamzat Chimaev to his new home at 185? Come on, I just got goosebumps thinking about it. But before you even consider the stylistic matchup, the press conferences would be another level of wild entirely. And we all know that even if Adesanya isn't able to go head-on with Strickland on the mic, Chimaev is a man who enjoys chaos just as much as his American counterpart. Either way, it is clear that Sean Strickland is in a very good place, and he has the tools to threaten even his toughest rivals within the upper levels of the middleweight division. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned for more exciting content.